Did you know that nearly 90% of sailing accidents could have been prevented with the right safety gear? Let's find out how to avoid becoming a statistic. In this video, you will explore the essential sailing safety gear and what should be in your grab box to ensure a safe sailing experience. Many sailors underestimate the importance of having the right safety gear readily accessible, which can lead to dangerous situations on the water. We'll go through each essential item that should be included in your grab box, explaining their purpose and how they can save lives during emergencies. We'll highlight a real-life sailing incident where having the right gear made all the difference, showcasing the importance of preparation. To wrap up, we'll cover the must-have items for your grab box and discuss how being prepared can significantly enhance your safety on the water. So let's start off with the safety gear that should be in your grab box. And the first thing that I need to tell you that this is your grab box. It is waterproof, it floats if the lid is on correctly, and it needs to have your yacht identification. So on the outside of my grab box, you will see that I have my sail number and then the name of my sailing vessel. To make it easier, I'm going to put this on the ground and take out each item one by one and tell you what it is, what it's for, how it can save lives, and then we'll put it on the table in front of me. The first bit that I have in my grab box is a piece of braid-on-braid line. This is about a 5-meter piece of line. It's 8 millimeters thick, and the reason that I carry this in my grab box is there are many opportunities where you would need a piece of rope to tie something, and always good to have. The next item that I always carry is a soft shackle. Your soft shackle is made out of Dyneema. It's incredibly strong, very versatile, and great for attaching the piece of rope or anything else to whatever it is that you need to attach it to. I also always carry a roll of duct tape in my grab box, and also a roll of electrical tape. The next item I have is a compass, and this particular one is waterproof and it floats. So if I drop it in the water, it's not going to drop down to the bottom of the ocean. It will float. So that's my compass. Then I carry a VHF radio. And again, the one that I use is also waterproof and floats. And it is a 6-watt handheld radio, which means that it will give me a range of around about 60 nautical miles in the open ocean. Also important to make sure that it is fully charged, so I check the charge on that before I go out sailing each time. The next item I have my handheld GPS, and this one is a Garmin. It's also waterproof, and I always make sure that I have some spare batteries, which we'll get to shortly. Next, I carry a first aid kit, and obviously space is limited in your grab box, so you can't carry everything, but my first aid kit does have a variety of bits and pieces. Open this pocket up on this side, and we've got all sorts of stuff that potentially you may need in an emergency. The next item I have is a pair of waterproof binoculars, and these are 8x40s, waterproof binoculars. very handy. A multi-tool. This is a Leatherman and it has a variety of tools, and I have it on a lanyard so that when I'm using it I can't use it overboard. I then have a dedicated sailing knife. This is a gill version, one hand operation, serrated blade, round point, locking mechanism, and on the other side a marlin spike. I then have a space blanket. In case somebody gets wet and cold, you can wrap them in this and they'll warm up nice and quickly. A set of different sized bungs. These are for if your boat gets a hole, you can prop up the hole with these bungs, preferably from the outside, but if it's not possible to do from the outside, you can knock them in from the inside also. And we have a variety of different sizes so that we've covered every eventuality. I mentioned the spare batteries, that's for the GPS, and also for my torch. I always make sure that the torch is in a sealed container so that there's no corrosion over time. This is a brand new torch, sealed in its casing. In addition to the torch, I always carry a spare bulb for the torch to make sure that if something happens to the torch, I can still use it with the spare batteries and the spare bulb. The certificate of listing of your boat needs to be in your grab box. And if you're traveling and sailing internationally, you should also make sure that your passports, wallets, and any personal documentation is also kept in your grab box. A signal mirror. This is very useful to signal people who may be coming to rescue you if you're in trouble. And rather than using a proper piece of glass mirror, I prefer using this polished stainless steel square. It obviously won't break. Then you need some sort of sound signal. So that is my mechanical sound signal. You need to carry an ID sheet. This is a 2 meter by 2 meter ID sheet, which you can unfold and attach to something, which will make it more visible and easier for your rescuers to find you. An orange smoke flare. The purpose of the smoke flare, again, when rescuers are approaching spotted planes or something like that, you can set off this flare, you throw it into the water after taking the cover off. Make sure you do so downwind of you, because it does release a huge plume of orange smoke, which is quite toxic, and you don't want that coming over you. Then we have 2 red parachute flares. So these you set off also downwind, preferably at about an angle of 60 degrees, 45 to 60 degrees. They will go up 1,000 foot into the sky. The parachute will open and the red flare will then descend to the water. Take about a minute and a half, depending on wind conditions, etc. You only have 2 of them. So again, don't waste your flares. Wait until rescuers are in sight and then set them off. We also carry 2 red handheld flares, and these again you shoot off at between 45 and 60 degrees downwind of you, and these you hold in your hand until such time as they stop burning. With regard to flares, remember that they do expire, so you need to make sure that the expiry date is still good. My smoke, my 2 red parachutes, and my 2 red handheld flares expire in April 2027, so I'm still covered. And then lastly in my grab box, I have 6 liters of drinking water in sealed containers. The boat that this grab box comes from, we usually sail 3 up, and by law we need to carry 1 liter of drinking water for each person on board. So there are my 6 liters of drinking water, all sealed, and these you need to replace from time to time, because obviously the water does go stale. So you don't want to put them in your grab box and then 20 years later, when something does happen, you find that the water doesn't taste very good and it's contaminated. So I would suggest that every 6 months or so, change the water. And then lastly, I carry a couple of strong cable ties. Cable ties are amazing items for attaching things to whatever you need to attach to. But do carry the stronger ones, not the thin, flimsy ones. And now for that real life story. A few years ago, a friend of mine was out sailing with a novice crew, and they ran into difficulty. They lost their rudder, broke off at the waterline, and they called for help via the radio. And whilst my friend was down below, his new crew member let off all the flares. And needless to say, as they're about 40 nautical miles off the coast, there was nobody to see those flares. And they were left with no flares left. But fortunately, when they spotted a plane in the sky, a spotter plane, they had a signal mirror, and they used the signal mirror to alert attention to their dire situation, and they were rescued. If you found this video helpful, be sure to check out our next video on the sailing techniques, and subscribe to the channel and share your own safety gear tips in the comments below.